I love it when people make my point about what I think about them. So if I say that you're stupid or that you're a jackass or something like that, and then you do something to prove my point, I love it. I simply love it. I mean, I've been saying since day one that Justin, the long haired macdaddy Trudeau, is a moron. I've been saying that he is a pimp meister. I've been saying that he is a Canadian traitor. And I've been saying that he's just completely naive. And I've been saying that it's going to bite him in the butt one day. And I've proven my point with China. Now, so much for saying that you admire China's basic dictatorship, because China's basic dictatorship has just bit you square in the butt, and Canadian Chinese relations have not been as low as they are now, and everyone's saying it. We can go with what's happening with the arrest of the highway or whatever it's called, the arrest of that executive, and now a Canadian has been arrested in China. So it looks like things are just getting going from bad to worse. Let's see what's happened now. So the detentions of two Canadians in China. This is from the CTV, by the way. The detention of two Canadians in China may not be the end of worsening relations between the two countries, according to an analyst and two former diplomats. While Canada-China relations have hit a low point, we may still be going lower. Scott McKnight, managing editor of the China Open Research Network at the University of Toronto, said Monday on CTV's Your Morning. Businessman Michael business okay, that's what he said on Your Morning. Okay, I have the bad habit of doing that. I read the quote like as if it's part of the sentence, and then I realize that that's what somebody said. Businessman Michael Spavor and on leave diplomat Michael Covering have both been detained in China in apparent retaliation for the arrest of highway executive Meng Wanzhou in Vancouver. Meng has been released from custody on bail and is awaiting hearing on whether she will be extradited to the United States to face charges of fraud. Now, you see, here's the thing now. She's just been released. She's been released. They're going by the book. They're going by by the Charter of Rights and Freedom. That's what they're giving her. I mean, she's not Canadian. She has nothing to do with Canada, but they're still going by the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. They're giving her her day in court. She's been released on bail, but you would never see anything like that happen in China for these two Canadians right now. You think that would happen? The Chinese can do whatever they want with those two. That is your basic dictatorship, Mr. macdaddy. Long-haired macdaddy betraying Canadian traitor Justin Trudeau. That's the basic dictatorship. And everyone was saying from the beginning how ridiculous those comments were, and they were ridiculing him up and down and all around. And the Canadian establishment and the media and the liberal interests and some conservative interests, the Tories, were saying how it's disrespectful and classless to keep making fun of Trudeau for his gaffes and everything like that. And now look what happened now. A big international stink is going on before our eyes. There was even talk about having a Canadian-Chinese trade deal. Now that's being thrown out the window now. That was actually around in 2017. I actually spoke out against that. I said we shouldn't be making any deals with the Chinese because they lie, they cheat, and their basic dictatorship allows them to get away with a lot of stuff. Plus, they have a very large military, and they can end the world in 2 seconds with a nuclear blast. We can't do business with these kind of people. But the macdaddy says that he admires their basic dictatorship, and he still, as of yet, hasn't retracted that statement. We have to unpack what exactly the Chinese are going for. They're looking to put as much pressure on the Canadian government as possible, McKnight said. Well, I mean, that's just exactly it. That's what China does. That's how China operates. That's their basic dictatorship. And everybody was saying how much of a ridiculous comment that was. I mean, that's what he said before he was prime minister. Do you all remember that? He said he admires China's basic dictatorship because they're able to get stuff done that couldn't be done in democracies. Well, I got news for you. That's why we have democracy. Democracy is not perfect, but democracy is the reason it gives people due process in court, justice, innocence until proven guilty, basic rights and freedoms, and these two Canadians who are in China right now don't have any of that. But this Chinese executive, who should rot in jail, is getting the same treatment that any other Canadian would get under the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. So that's why I love it when people make the point for me of what I think of them. This is the Arana Nation.